Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe GoodeBurn from No.1 Sentai Gozyuger. This is the changer of the 6th Gozyuger, Goju Polar, which, like with the TEGASWORD and TEGAJUN, can transform into its own mecha. This set includes a few things: the GoodeBurn itself, one Sentai ring, and one interchangeable ring part. So, let's get started! First up, we'll look at the included Goju Polar Sentai ring. So here we have it, and similarly to the TEGAJUN Sentai ring, the base here is a nice metallic or pearl white color. We've got the face here. We can see the bear-like features. You can see that uses a clear light blue color, as well as some nice silver and gold paint apps. You can see some creases in there, which will come into play later. But for now, we're just taking a look at the ring itself. Of course, like with all Sentai rings, you can switch out the smaller ring part for a bigger one. They can fit adult fingers, but similar to the other changers, you need to use the smaller ring in order for it to fit into the GoodeBurn. Next, we'll take a look at the GoodeBurn on its own. So here you have it in its changer mode, and it does kind of carry on the same sort of hand motif of the other two, but whereas the others had a more splayed open hand, in this case this is a large fist. You can see that it mainly uses a pearl white color with clear light blue, and then this kind of metallic bluish green color on it as well, and some nice gold trim in places. You can see the 4 curled up fingers here, and then you also have a fold down thumb. This is the place to put in a Sentai ring. You've got the buy of it, and the grip down here, which is a little bit bigger than that of the TEGASWORD and TEGAJUN, but still pretty tight. Now the name is pretty interesting because of just the way it is compared to the other two. It doesn't have Tega in it, even though technically in the show the original name of this is TEGANUCKLE, which comes from Naguru, meaning punch. But GoodeBurn does also kind of reveal perhaps a hidden motif of the 3 changes we've seen, as Gu comes from one of the ways that you say fist in Japanese, but specifically it's the way you say fist when playing rock, paper, scissors. It's the rock in rock, paper, scissors, which kind of interestingly might highlight a hidden little theme going on with these two, where you have the splayed open hand of TEGASWORD, which is like paper, and then even though there's a similar thing going on with the TEGAJUN, the gun barrel and the lower blade seem to resemble a pair of scissors, so that's perhaps the scissors. So essentially, the 3 may be going for a theme of rock, paper, scissors. We'll have the bomb here with some buttons. You've got the bar compartment with a pull tab, which you'll need to remove in order to turn it on, as this has no power switch of its own. Let's have a button here and speaker here. So let's pull the tab and get it going. And there we have the startup sound where it says, "I am GoodeBurn." Unlike the other two, there are some phrases that this makes on its own. And here he says, "Here I am together with Kumade," which is the name of the person who turns into Goju Polar. Then he basically says, "Take this fist." And finally he says, "I am No.1. After that, we'll bring in the Goju Polar Sentai ring for the transformation. Now this has no motion sensor, so it's a pretty simple way to do the transformation, which is to take the ring, put it in the GoodeBurn, and then press the button on the front. And there we have the transmission into Goju Polar. Then deactivate the transmission by taking out the ring. And if you take a look here at the slot, you'll notice that it does not have the same pins that the other ones have. Meaning this does not actually read rings, it just has a little switch there, which lets us know if a ring is inserted or not. So, technically, any ring can be put in here, but they'll all make the same sounds. After that, there are a couple of attack sounds you can make. First, with a light press, or just with a quick press, you can get a standard attack sound, which is a flurry of punches. Then, by pressing holding it for 3 charges, you can get a finisher attack. Which is the finished knuckle. Following that, we can get the transformation into robot mode, and, like with the others, I'm going to first demonstrate it with the sounds off by putting back in the tab, and then I'll do it a second time with the electronics going. So to start, you want to take out the Sentai ring, and come around to the bottom. You want to press this button in here, which allows you to fold up the handle, though you don't need to press it to fold back down. From there, you're going to press this button here on the back, which will disconnect the 2 halves of the GoodeBurn, like that. You're going to take this part, which is the legs, and you'll also come to the torso by flipping up this piece until it clicks into place. I'll take the front half, which will become the upper half. You're going to want to rotate down these pieces 3 notches to form the arms. And take this thumb piece and fold up like this to be level with the shoulders. And take these pieces and connect them like this. Finally, take the ring, you're going to open up to reveal the face, then insert it into the head. Now we can get the full transformation with the sounds included. And here we have GoodeBurn in robot mode. So let's take a closer look. Starting from the head, we can now see the ring is split open to reveal the face with a nice silver mouthpiece and orange eyes. Some pretty big straight shoulders. Coming down the chest, you can see that it retains the circle motif, or ring motif, that is shared with TEGASWORD. We've got the arms with these kind of orange cords on them, which come down to the fists, pretty big. Got the waist and legs with more cords running down to the lower legs. Some nice clear blue pieces, and the feet, which looks like bear claws. And you can see the details here on the back as well. The legs are hollowed out, probably just to save on the production costs. And as for articulations, it's just limited to the arms, which can be rotated all the way around. Well, almost all the way around, as they will impact with the handle in the back. Though it is a bit of an awkward rotation because, as you can see, the shoulder, or at least shoulder joint, is actually positioned behind and level with the head. Which looks fine when you have the arms down or even like a little bit forward, but it does kind of look a little funny where you basically have the arm level with the head when he's making a punching motion. But that's just how they designed it. Now in this mode, this white part here becomes a button that hits the button on the main core part. Pressing it quickly will just get you kind of a walking sound. Or also be seen as a punching sound, then pressing holding it will give you a finisher. Which is the polar GOODEFINISH. And finally, you can combine GoodeBurn with TEGASWORD Red for a super combination. To start, we're going to want to do some prep. We're going to fold in both the faces for each of them. I'll start by prepping TEGASWORD. So fold in the sword, take both the arms, and connect them to the back. Remove the ring from the head. And then, in something we haven't done before, we're just going to take the Tom Bomb halves and split them up. So from there, I'm going to come over here to GoodeBurn. I'm going to start by disconnecting the pieces. We're going to take off the arms, set them aside, disconnect the core part, and take the torso piece and fold it back down. I'm going to take these two little flaps here on the shins, then fold them up to the knees. And for the arms, we're going to take these little pieces here on the back, which can actually be disconnected, and fold them around and connect them to the sides, as well as folding up the gloves on the fists. The same for the other side. We're then going to actually fold it up a little bit and take off this piece from here. And also take out a piece from here, which we'll make use of later. Next we'll take the upper half of TEGASWORD and the lower half of GoodeBurn and connect them together. I'm going to take this piece and with this little connector facing upwards, I'll connect it into the pegs on the back of the legs of TEGASWORD. So from here we can get to the main combination, which I'm actually going to just kind of tell you before actually getting to it, or just kind of basically illustrate how you do it. So what we're going to do is, the first thing it's going to do is disconnect this from here, which will start up the sounds. We'll plug this piece into the chest here, which will add some weight to it as this is a little back heavy now. From there we'll attach the arms to the arm joints on TEGASWORD. We'll put this into the face socket for TEGASWORD, and there's going to be this piece that we're going to fold back. We're going to attach this to here. We'll attach this onto the top, and then finally connect the TEGASWORD red ring to the chest piece. So let's get started with that. And here we have TEGASWORD GooDEFINISH. So let's take a closer look. Starting from the top, you can see a new face with a golden mouthpiece and red eyes, as well as this kind of crown that resembles the Gozyuger symbol, as well as a couple of fists on sides of the face. The legs of the TEGASWORD have now become large shoulder cannons, and even though this is a part of version of TEGASWORD, it is interesting though that a lot of what we see actually is part of GoodeBurn. You of course now have the TEGASWORD red ring in the chest. Full of shoulders, we have these new bits of gold and red revealed, as well as what kind of look like perhaps missile launchers. You got these smaller golden fists inside of the larger gloves, although they're not truly fists, as you can see the fingers are extended. Then you got gold here on the waist. You now see some red missile launchers here on the knees. And of course we still have this back piece of TEGASWORD. And personally I think it is a very coherent combination, as the colors really do complement each other. You know, you have the gold bits going with the gold of TEGASWORD, have the reds to match the red ring, and you have the clear blue, which perfectly matches the clear blue of the wings. There are also a couple of sounds that change in this mode. So pressing the button, you'll get a different blasting sound. By pressing holding, you'll get a new finisher. Which is the GooDEFINISH full burst. Now as far as articulation goes, technically speaking, because you have this being blocked by what were the arm joints of a GoodeBurn, you can't actually move the arms anywhere. However, I have discovered a little bit of a way around it, which is that if you take off the arms and then rotate them and reattach them at this elevated angle, they do manage to fit, so that way you can have it in a pose with the hands raised a little bit up and the shoulders a little bit back. So you can get a little bit of dynamic posing out of it, but the default state is like this. And because I almost forgot, for the actual final part, we can test out the GoodeBurn Sentai ring with the TEGASWORD and TEGAJUN. So first starting off with the TEGASWORD, put in the ring. And we get no sound, but we do get rainbow lights. So no attack sounds, no nothing, and that would have no sounds either in the robot mode. However, interestingly, if we test out with the TEGAJUN, it coincidentally has the same pin set as the TEGAJUN Sentai ring. But with the case of both of them, they're probably done that way so that they wouldn't trigger any new sounds that would spoil them in the TEGASWORD, if someone were to perhaps hack the pins. And there we go. So overall, while like most 6th Ranger Changers / Mecha doesn't do quite as much as the primary Changer / Mecha, the GoodeBurn still does quite a lot. Of course, you have the transformation and weapon sounds, which are quite nice on their own. Then you have the transformation into the robot mode, which does have some nice sounds go along with it, and it does definitely make for a cool looking robot. And then of course you have the combination with TEGASWORD, which, you know, like I said, is interesting that in that combination this secondary robo is kind of dominant in it, but you can still see elements of both, and they do definitely mix together quite well. So, if you're a fan of Gozyuger Polar, or you're looking for something to help upgrade your TEGASWORD, I definitely recommend picking this up. Next time, I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Barracuda 50. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KNUCKLE, writing off.